So we have four invited talks this morning. So if you have any questions, let's get started. I'm using my privilege to be the chair. Okay. All right. So let's begin with this question. So what do you think is the most important goal we need to aim to have the outreach programs in various levels and various topics and so on? So can you say something? Okay.
Any of you?
Yes.
Yeah, I can start.
Yes, please.
I mean, at least for me right now, raising awareness that quantum is not magic. It's something important. It will become something like a normal technology, like our phones. Hopefully, like nobody really knows how their phones work or even how their car works, but they use them. So we should not expect everyone to know quantum physics, but people should be aware that it is something that is coming, and to build trust. That's very important right now, especially like we've seen all the data and the things, how things are evolving. Yeah, so trust is the number one priority.
Trust. Okay, good. Very good. So could you say something?
I would say that, and I think that this enthusiastic engagement, and I think that a lot of it's a challenge for everyone to understand that it has to be peer-level engagement. And it's hard to say, well, I have a PhD in quantum physics. How can I act like this person who cleans the toilet is my peer? But this peer-level engagement as human beings is what makes the trust happen. And we have to stop, as you said, talking down, saying it's too complicated, you can't understand it. We have to meet them where they're at. And the more humble and genuinely curious we can be, then we actually are able to build trust.
Very good.
Well, maybe I just pick up on Michelle's point that, this peer-to-peer interaction. Actually, in QCamp, I mentioned we're using, it's our PhD students who do the teaching, and of course they're much closer in age to the students who are attending the camp than the professors would be. So sometimes there's a sense, you need to wheel out your most distinguished academic, the most senior professor to do the outreach, to build that credibility. But actually, our experience is the ability to relate, creates more impact than, say, the awards and prizes. I mean, there's a place for both, of course. Otherwise, I guess the goal, what's most important, I think, is to know what your goal is. I mean, there can be many different reasons for doing outreach, and of course, building trust is a really important one for science funding. Some of our initiatives I talked about are, educational, and it's about inspiring people to remain interested in science. So I think, in many countries, there's been declining enrollment in science degrees. So we're not necessarily concerned about how much do they remember or did they really learn about quantum physics at the end of this experience. That can come later. But did we make them enthusiastic about learning? Did we make them think, this is fun, I'm interested, this could be relevant for my future? Sure. So for us, that's an important outreach goal.
Thank you.
Okay. From my case, sometimes it's easier to do, but it's still tough because actually as a physical societies, we face some challenges because I think maybe you might already know to success the semiconductor foundries in Taiwan actually grab lots of students participate to their fields, but we have to deliver the concept and try to let them know actually everything about semiconductor initially coming from quantum technologies, and try to encourage the young talents to go back to physics again. So that is also one thing we are trying to do and trying to let everyone else knows in Taiwan.
Yeah, thank you very much. So regarding this topic, goal of the outreach, do you have any questions or comments from the audience? Yes, please. Could you use the microphone?
Okay, I was surprised that Sabina Hossenfeld is the YouTube channel you are supporting, right? The Jesky?
Which one?
Sabina Hossenfeld is the...
I am a fan.
Just fun?
No, we are not involved.
Actually, I mentioned that I am a early subscriber of her channel, and it was very interesting. But he is a lot pessimistic to the quantum computing and some inclination in her own some favor or something else. So that kind of, but he's has many subscribers. So I think we need more discussion about them. So what is really realistic, what unrealistic in the quantum computing, and what is the scientific part and what is the engineering part. So some pieces say that it is unrealistic, but somehow the engineer can overcome some technical difficulty.
Sure.
So we should agree there. So that's my.
Yeah, thank you very much for the comment. So taking this comment, let me move on to the second topic. So my topic now is this. So how can we balance scientific accuracy and accessibility to the large audience groups? So do you have some strategies or comments, ideas? What do you think?
So maybe I'll just very briefly talk about quantum shorts, because I would say, and maybe the panelists would like to disagree with me. Here we did not have any requirement for accuracy, which was something I was a little bit concerned about. This is a bit dangerous, right? People really interpret quantum in completely crazy ways. So this was why I was sharing the audience survey data that, yes, it was so clearly artistic that I felt that it didn't matter, right? People were interested, and then there are other resources that are designed to be accurate that they can go and find. And so the fact that we made people curious, the accuracy wasn't the key criteria. It's a sort of side answer to your question.
Some other comments?
One thing I can add here is that we kind of sometimes talk trash about the Ant-Man movies a lot, but they really worked. They got a lot of people, very excited about the word quantum and what quantum technologies can do. And in fiction, there is this thing called suspension of disbelief. So you suspend your disbelief while you're enjoying this fiction. But then your disbelief can come back, so that you want to learn, okay, is this really, true? Or what is the real, quantum physics behind all these things that I've been shown? So definitely there's a need for scientific accuracy when we are doing science communication. And for doing outreach, we shouldn't, lie to people about what the technology can do or can't do. But in terms of artistic representations, they don't necessarily have to be science courses.
Okay. Do you also have some comment?
Yeah, actually, for our physical society, we just realized, I think, few years ago, because of fraction of quantum things. So in Taiwan, we already have lots of the films and even product regarding quantum, just as Dijak mentions. But except for try to against those kinds of factions, so our society decided to participate more to improve the accuracies at that time. So that is what we put a lot of efforts to do that. And for example, the microfilm I just demonstrate, we try to discuss with the filmmaker to deliver at least not not 100% accuracy, but try to make sure everything they deliver the science is not misled to the audience. That's what we are trying to do. Yeah.
Okay, Michelle, do you have something?
I would just echo what Zeki said about there's a difference between public engagement and public education.
Yes.
And just be very clear where you are on that. I think
Yes.
when that gets murky, that's when it's dangerous. And then for our team, we always have researchers weigh in on our content. We don't ask them to create it because it has a different fundamental base of communication. But we always just check ourselves.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So now let's talk about the involving researchers, actual researchers in outreach programs. How much can we control or manage the time and effort in actual research and outreach program? Do you have some good idea or suggestions for researchers?
Maybe I will just say that, outreach is severely underfunded. So it puts a lot of constraints on the time that researchers can commit to this, and also in terms of like administrative support, what the universities can do, since it's not being assessed as well. So like there's a lack there, quite a bit of issue. And I agree with I think it was you, right, Jenny, basically said that we shouldn't take too much time from the researchers who are conducting their scientific research, because they need to conduct their scientific research. And a lot of people contribute to outreach activities on their own time, which is not something you want if you want this to be sustainable.
So the American Physical Society has a public engagement statement, and so they are advocating that public engagement is one of the career progression criteria that is assessed. So that's happening in the US. In the UK, they're actually moving even further, where public engagement can be a way to advance even without the research basis to back it up. So it's like almost an independent way for career progression. So it's really the assessment criteria that are the one and assessment and funding that say, okay, it's really only the research outcomes that matter, and this extra talking to the public, that's on you. And we see, based on what's going on with trust in science, the outcome of that mentality. So a lot of funders are changing to include some metrics for public engagement, and so different societies are also trying to change it.
Yeah, I mean, so this is something that we are very mindful of in our programs. I mean, participating in outreach is always a voluntary opportunity. So because we have so many people, we usually find enough people to participate in our programs. And I think, Michelle, you talked a little bit about it being enriching for the researchers too. And I think this is something that we hear back from them. Again, we're not researching it, but say with the volunteers who look after Q Camp, that's about 40 people coming from different groups and even different institutes who might not have got to know each other otherwise. So by joining together to plan and deliver this outreach activity, it can even improve their science because they make new networks, connections. I guess maybe more formally, something that I'm looking forward to seeing the impact of the new scholarship scheme that Singapore has started has a service hours commitment for PhD students, and so participating in outreach will be one way that people can meet that. So I think, again, it still needs to remain voluntary. If we force people who don't want to outreach to do it, probably they also won't do a very good job. So we don't want to do that. But yeah, this is a way that we will be able to recognize people more formally for their involvement.
Okay, actually we have the similar setup for the proposals to make publish engagement statements for each proposals. But of course, we are unable to ask each scientist to participate in public to these kinds of outreach activities. So in our society, we try to encourage the team workings. Try to bring some senior scientists and the younger scientists working together. So sometimes, luckily, we have very good senior scientists actively participate to these outreach programs, such that they can also help the younger scientists to do that. So the younger scientists can spend not so much time, but still enjoy these kinds of experience to the outreach activities.
Thank you very much. Yeah, because of the time limit, let me move on to the last topic of this panel session. Okay, so my last topic I'm suggesting is this. Apart from program you spoke today, do you have any other programs this year or in the future? I mean, to promote outreach programs. What else are you planning?
Yes, yeah. In our plan, just as what I mentioned, we try to collaborate more with high school teachers to deliver our current activity to the high school campus.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, I shared 3 case studies. We're doing many things all the time.
Right.
Something I can give you a very small sneak preview of. We're working with 2 partners in Singapore, the Science Centre Singapore and Art Science Museum, who are both planning some showcase later in the year for the International Year of Quantum. Something we're excited about.
I touched on it briefly, but the Quantum Toolbox that's available on our website, it's qns.science is our website, and our Quantum Toolbox is available there. So for the people who want to do quantum public engagement or quantum outreach, we created a toolbox because we are always creating stuff, and we're making it available to the community as a whole for them to just pick up and to do their own public engagement.
Okay.
And so we are also supporting the German Physical Society (DPG) in trying to do some of the more like outreach on ethics and risks of quantum technologies, and also some quantum music concerts are being organized by Daisy and my colleague Adrian Schmidt in Berlin in 2 weeks. So if by any chance you're in Berlin, just feel free to enjoy the quantum music concerts that they're organizing.
Sounds great.
Yes, one thing I would like to mention, just as what I demonstrate our special exhibitions in Taiwan, we are also looking for any possibilities if any museum in other place or in any institutes are interested in those special exhibition. We can collaborate to try to distribute those kinds of demonstrations, exhibitions to some other places.
Okay, thank you very much. So let's thank our invited speakers. So this is the end of the session 1.
Hi, sorry, I know we're all eager to get our coffee. I'm Lucille Sugarman. I'm an undergraduate researcher at Wellesley College, and I just arrived here for the International Summer School, and I was on my morning run, and I saw a poster for this, and I came, and I'm so grateful for the insight that you were able to provide for me. I presented at 4 symposia last semester in an attempt to communicate to a public audience my research on the quantum mechanical nature of time. And I was ungracefully straddling the public engagement and public education line, where I would be like, just giving this poetically dense metaphorical analysis of Boltzmann's thermodynamic stuff, and then I would be like, here, Wheeler DeWitt doing like a technical lecture. And so I'm very grateful for the insight you were able to provide in your presentations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing.